I was just about to arrive at the entrance of the Pyeonghwa Nuri Bike Path, a 215-kilometer bike path that follows the DMZ between South and North Korea, but got 2 flat tires in the middle of nowhere, so my wife Yeonmi-jeong drove my bonehead self back home where I prepared properly, to set out again 4 days later. Hello. Don't have much time, but I'm heading to Hongdae Station to catch the airport railroad back to continue riding along the Pyeonghwa Nuri Bike. I reserved the train for 11, and let's see how this works. I figure I'll use this opportunity to show you how to ride the subway with a bike. First of all, it has to be a weekend or holiday. Second of all, if you're riding the airport railroad in Seoul like me, you have to reserve a time slot in advance, which you can learn about in our bike tips video I'll link in the description. And third, good luck getting your bike filled with all your bags down to the subway platform. It'll be super fun. No bikes allowed on the elevator. The sign said to use the bike ramp on the stairs, which there was none at these stairs at Hongdae Station. So I just said screw it and left my bike up top while I carried all my bags down, and then came back up to carry my bike down. There's probably an easier way to do this, but I was in a rush. Then I tapped into the turnstiles, found an elevator without any no bike signs, and I made it to the platform, where you can ride the subway on the first or last car. Alright, made it to the subway platform. Let's see how easy it is to ride this thing. Should be good. I was heading to Cheongna International City Station, the same station you'd take if you're starting the cross-country bike path from Incheon to Busan. But I was heading for new territory, up the very west coast away from the bike paths for the first 20 kilometers, then starting the Pyeonghwa Nuri Bike Path up to Ganghwa-do, the big island right across the Han River from North Korea, and then finishing courses 1 and 2 of the Pyeonghwa Nuri Bike Path to get back home the next day before it starts raining. Alright, we're feeling good now. But it's going to be a new road today. I've never biked in this direction before, from Cheongna Station, which is just over there, up towards Ganghwa-do. There's a North Korean observatory. Oh, everyone's running red lights right now. Yeah, I just want to go over to the observatory because I think you can get a nice view of North Korea as well. That'd be pretty cool for this journey since it's kind of following the DMZ. It'd be nice to get kind of a viewpoint into North Korea as well. Cheongna is basically a new city in Incheon officially, I think. And we've biked through it before. We went to, I think it was Yeonmi-do back in the day. We went to like Chinatown and Yeonmi-do and stuff like that. But let's get going closer to Ganghwa-do and the start of the bike path. So right now I'm riding right at the start of the cross-country bike path, and there's a ton of cyclists doing it right now. It is a beautiful day and it's a Saturday, but I'm curious just how many people are starting. I haven't seen any heavier bikes yet, but you never know. Some people might get a late start. Yeah, so this is the turn off to the start or the finish of the Four Rivers. Just 2.5 kilometers to get there. It looks like there's a road up there, a bike path or something. That's where I want to be going. I think this is it right here. I'm gonna go left here. And then up here. There's always an exciting feeling as soon as you get to an area that you've never explored on your bike. There was a bike path here, but clearly not many people use it, as I was passing an industrial area that had been around for a very long time. I can't believe there's a cycle path here. This is weird. It's almost like a post-apocalyptic area, but it's like Fallout or something, but it's pretty cool. So now we're riding with the cars, so I don't think it's too much longer, but we're also entering a Gimpo
in Gyeonggi-do.
As a foreigner living in another country, sometimes there are situations where I feel like I break the synergy of its people from not knowing what to do. There was one truck behind me waiting to pass, and I could see that it could pass up ahead no problem as there was a break in the cars. But suddenly a truck on the opposite side stopped, and I had no idea what he was doing, but I think he wanted me to stop and wait.
Sorry, I have no idea what that guy was doing, stopping in the middle of the road. He sweared at me, but I didn't really know, I didn't really understand. What can you do? American bacon cheddar burger, got an energy bar and a Powerade.
It's actually pretty good.
All right, just finished lunch. Feeling a lot more energized now. Feeling better too, for sure. A little bit of an obstacle earlier, but yeah, that stuff happens, right? I got about 6 kilometers left to the start of the 평화누리 자전거길. It's only 1:15 right now, so I'm probably gonna be able to cycle a little bit and maybe see a little bit of Ganghwa-do too. So let's get started. Little soju shrine here. Bunch of soju, baijo, and makgeolli. These rock formations. I've discovered, I think most of these cars are going to Ganghwa-do because there's the sign right there. Turn left here to go there. And most of the cars seem to be doing that.
I was just about to arrive at Daemyeong or Daemyeong Port, which is also the entrance of the Pyeonghwa Nuri Bike Path.
And now we're at Daemyeong Harbor, so let's see what this is like anyways. Woohoo! 평화누리. So now I'm at the official entrance and there's a trekking course here and a bike path as well. So the trekking course is just over there. It starts in that kind of cool looking path. And it looks like there's stamp booths here as well. But let's see. Oh yeah, it just gives you directions on how to download the app. So there's no actual stamp in here. So the app is called Oldest Stamp. Oh, looks like they have actual stamps for the trekking course. I'm still trying to figure out if this entrance is for bikes as well. It's quite confusing to be honest, but I'll just go for it, and if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. Here we go. This makes more sense now. So now we're on the actual bike path.
The Pyeonghwa Nuri trekking and bike paths overlap, and in order to get the stamps, you have to leave the app turned on with their navigation system going. So I just decided not to collect them. Also, the beginning of course 1 felt like no other bike path I'd ever ridden on yet.
Feels kind of like a theme park so far. Yeah, we got the military fence on the left side here, and then kind of some farm areas, but it's really nice here. So I'm very curious. You can see there's a little military lookout up here, outpost. This will be interesting. I'm excited now that we're kind of making some progress. So let's start the 평화누리 자전거길 along the DMZ. Did not expect to see it, but there's some really nice houses in here. They're so close to the border to North Korea too, so they almost can see into North Korea from their house. So that's kind of interesting. 안녕하세요.
The path started out mostly going through the forests, through farms, and with a couple little hills too. It's almost like there's something new every corner you take, and that made for a really good start to the bike path.
This is really, really peaceful. There's barely anybody biking or walking around. And it is hot today, but we got a really, really nice breeze. As I ride my bike, it's almost like I'm getting fanned off the whole time. So not hot at all, even though I think it's almost like 28 degrees or something today. So it is a scorcher for sure. At least for April, it doesn't normally get this hot, but really, really countryside. Oh, I hope you can see the cranes in Korea are so beautiful. They have the longest legs. They're called a durumi. So yeah, it's another 25 kilometers to the observatory. Hopefully it'll still be open by the time I get there. If not, it's not the end of the world, but because I'll get to see a bit of Ganghwa-do anyways. But yeah, it's going good. It's definitely feeling like summer though. Korea always comes through with the marts or convenience stores though. Very, very spoiled with them for sure. I don't know how people cycle in like Canada or America, like having to prepare so much food and just being out in the wild with all the animals. Like that's a totally different sport than this for sure. It's like a vacation compared to that.
After Seokjeongni, it was time to get back into the countryside some more. If you drew a straight line from Seoul Station to here, it's only 40 kilometers away. And besides the groups of cyclists here and there, and people working on the farms, you get it pretty much all to yourself.
Coming back to this military fence and continue north. You can probably see it a little bit. So that on the other side of the fence is Ganghwa-do. That's the island that I'm going to today. And it looks like this is also part of the Gyeonggi-do. So it might be the Sohaeranggil as well. The trekking course that goes from the north to south along the west coast. So if it is, we'll be back here actually someday on foot. It'll be really interesting to explore the country more, trekking as well, not only cycling. So. It says 16% grade for 410 meters, so I think I'm gonna be walking this, we'll see. Oh yeah. One of the signs says 10%, which is total bullshit. The other one said 16%. I don't know if you can see the golf course in the background, but I'm very surprised there's a golf course up here too. That's what happens when you get cocky taking the shot.
After screwing around in the hills a bit, I was now on the final stretch to Ganghwa-do, which has a really interesting history itself. First of all, with its location right at the entrance to the Han River from the Yellow Sea, it was seen as a good place for kings of the Joseon dynasty to self-exile in times of war, since it was well fortified and difficult to get to. So a palace was built in the 1200s to house them. And all the way into the 1800s, it was invaded by Japan, France, and even America. And nowadays, the entire northern coast has a view into North Korea. So you'd think people from South Korea would be worried about going there, right? Nope. It's actually well known as a vacation spot for families in the greater Seoul area to spend weekends at the beach.
Okay, it's time to go to Ganghwa-do now. And we're on this cool bridge built for just bikes and walking. And I'll start seeing North Korea really soon, so that's also really exciting. So you can see Ganghwa-do right there. There's a lot of muddy beaches around it. Looks like some pensions and stuff like that, but oh, it looks nice after what we've been through for sure. 안녕하세요. I just got to Ganghwa-do, but it's really cool so far. It kind of has a vacation vibe to it. It seems like there's a bunch of restaurants and places to stay and stuff like that. I'm really curious what it's gonna look like up when we get to the coast, close to North Korea though. Yeah, that's the highlight for sure. So you can see here, 평화전망대, the Peace Observatory to North Korea. To the left, which is where I'm gonna go. Then Ganghwa-do to the right. So that's where I'm going back tomorrow. They have a bike path on the northern side of this island too, which is, that's pretty amazing. Yeah, let's go check it out. I think it's just about 14 kilometers, so let's go. Those mountains you can see in the background are North Korea, and this is the first time I've seen it on this trip. This is getting cool now. It's quite surreal. Like just looking at North Korea the whole time you're biking on this bike path. I mean, I've lived in South Korea for over 10 years now, but I never really see North Korea, and I don't know, it just has such a big like impact, you know, when you just say North Korea, even though it's just a bunch of mountains. And honestly, like if it wasn't for the government up there, the people would be the exact same as the people down here. So it's interesting, you know, just staring at it.
I cycled a bit further ahead, and the army was blocking the road. And unfortunately, I learned that not everyone is able to go further up to the Peace Observatory.
안녕하세요. 네, 이쪽으로 가면 안 되죠?
네, 이쪽은 강화도 주민만 갈 수 있어요.
아, 네. 네, 감사합니다.
It was a bit disappointing to say the least after coming all that way to see the observatory, but there was a pavilion called Yeonmi-jeong right beside the roadblock, which the exact construction date is unknown, but it was built before the 1500s, and it also had a decent view into North Korea anyways, which ended up making the trip worth it. I couldn't see much with my cameras, but I could see a few farm villages, and it felt kind of like a teaser, as there will be plenty more opportunities to see North Korea as I continue up the Pyeonghwa Nuri Bike Path in the videos coming up. Thanks so much for watching, and stay tuned for more videos soon.
That's a really nice view into North Korea from up here, and just a really cool like environment with the fortress wall and all that kind of stuff. Wasn't expecting it at all.